This episode is made possible by New Masters Academy, the world's absolute #1 online art school in the entire planet. Click link down below for a free 7-day trial. Thank you, New Masters Academy.
I am deep in the annals of your mind. I am deep in the annals of your...
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Honey and Absinthe After Hours Podcast. We're your host, I'm Vincent, a background designer for the Hollywood animation industry.
And I'm Janet, the ex-Disney artist turned independent creator, and this is a podcast about all things art, business,
and whatever we feel like. Now today we're going to talk about how Hollywood never, ever cared about your politics.
But before we get into it, make sure to like, jingle all our bells and buttons.
Press those buttons.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you, press those buttons. You are looking fantastic. Oh my gosh. It's March. It's spring. You know, daylight savings time is finally behind us. And now we have longer days.
Yay.
Pretty cool. More time and under the sun to have more adventures, right?
Yes. You look great. It is Monday. You're going to have a great day and a great week.
Because you're here with us.
Yes.
Now, Janet, it looks like really bad things are going on in my industry.
Yes, in the entire industry that is entertainment and media.
Well, let's just say, you told me one morning that Elon Musk tweeted out. How's everybody's...
Oh, yeah.
What did Elon Musk tweet out?
So, I follow a lot of financial people and news and stuff like that. One day, Elon Musk woke up and decided, I'm going to tweet... Hey everyone, I don't know how it's going in your companies, but how is it going in terms of the supply chain shortage issue thing in your companies? And then underneath it, I think he tweeted something like, for Tesla, it actually seems like things are worse, not better, for some strange reason. And everyone in finances started freaking out. Everyone was like, recession! Because Elon Musk stoked fear. But I don't think that was, he was literally just asking a question.
Oh man, I tried to buy an Xbox Series X this past few days.
Yes.
Explain that story to our audience.
So we were out doing a bunch of errands anyways, but we went to Target and Walmart and Best Buy because they were all kind of next to each other. We wanted to buy certain things. And you might as well check for an Xbox because of inflation. You're like, I might as well spend my money now because I don't think I'll be able to get an Xbox later.
And I hear all of these stories about oh, you know how hard it is to get an Xbox? Damn near impossible. How impossible was it, Janet?
It was pretty... So, we went to Walmart first, nothing. And then we went to Best Buy. They were like, I just sold the last Xbox. I'm like, I think you're lying. And then we went to Target, and then the guy had nothing better to do. So he was like, I'll check in the back for you. And then there was no Xbox on display, so we thought there's going to be nothing. He comes back, and he's like, so there are some back there, but I can't sell you it in the store. It's online only or something. So maybe you should check online and see if you can buy it there, pick up in store, and I can give it to you. So we check online, and it's like Xbox plus some kind of line of credit card thing that you have to sign up for.
And that's the only way. Only way you can get the Xbox.
And I was like, I don't want a line of credit. I want the Xbox. Why can't I just buy the Xbox? This is this feels scammy. And so we knew from the guy there were Xboxes. They just weren't going to sell to us.
Unless you did their line of credit thing.
Yeah. So now every time we visit any store that would have an Xbox or a PlayStation 5 in stock, we'll just check. Just see how long is it going to take for the supply chain thing to fix itself. And maybe we'll get lucky. Yeah.
So it's bad all over.
Yes.
It's not just...
Yeah.
It's just not just my industry. It's just bad all over.
Yeah. So I was looking at the jobs report that came out recently in February, and it's not great because they always like to pat themselves on the back for absolutely nothing. So apparently we added 600,000 jobs in the past month or so, which it sounds optimistic, but literally all the blue states opened up recently. What? Of course they're gonna add a bunch of jobs, jobs that were there before, and you caused the problem that you are now trying to fix. But anyways, and so like it's a good sign that the economy is opening up and people are getting jobs again. But they said that for it to be up to pre-pandemic levels, they need about 2 million jobs back on the market and or filled. But they're hoping it will happen around summertime.
Whoa, that's a short period. We're almost at summer. I mean,
Yeah. So they're
that's like what, 4 months away?
3 months away at this point. And they were basically saying like, hopefully might be all back to normal by summer. So I wish they would tell people that's what they're hoping for, that like, well, we're gonna be fine in like about 3 months, but they don't say that. This is because I don't think they're very confident in it happening by summertime. But that basically means we need to consistently at least add 600,000 jobs every month, March, April, May, June, to get to like basically pre-pandemic levels of economy. And that to me seems a little unrealistic to be like, yeah, summer is
a big ask,
when
man.
things are gonna be great again. But
Summer's when people don't want to work.
yeah, and the jobs report looks more optimistic than it actually is, because if you take out things like real estate, home improvement, like stuff that people kind of travel, stuff like that. It's like residual pandemic stuff that are doing well, and things that people like to invest in during a recession and high inflation. Everything else has negative job growth. So things like retail, any kind of retail, other than things specifically related to things like home improvement, travel, that kind of thing. So that says really, really bad things for the job market going forward, because right now we have low employment, stagnant wages, and high inflation. I predict that there's probably going to be a lot of unemployment coming soon if this keeps up. And if that's the case, then we are technically in a period of stagflation, which is even scarier than a recession, honestly.
What is stagflation, Janet?
It means you have less buying. Your money is worth less. There's high unemployment, but things cost more.
So, for the common folk, stagflation is the war turtle of inflation squirtle.
Yes. It is.
Now you understand. You can thank me later.
Yes. It's not great. So things aren't looking great. So it's something that, I don't know if artists are paying attention to at all. Probably not. You just like ignore money and math and things that are scary. So in order to do this podcast, I really didn't know what to talk about. So I went to entertainment, pop culture news, like the Hollywood Reporter. And I wanted just to like update myself on like the goings on in the industry, in the entertainment industry as a whole, in filmmaking, as a way to figure out the health of creative jobs. If you're an artist, musician, actor, filmmaker, whatever, creative jobs in general. That's actually why I was looking at the jobs report. I was trying to find any kind of information on the health of creative industries. I couldn't, so I was like, let me get creative. Let's go to, entertainment business news type stuff. So I found, this is basically a collection of articles that I found that point to a larger point, an issue that I want to make, which is Hollywood never cared about your politics. The biggest news in entertainment, every single article tends to be about this for the past 2 weeks. They don't say gay bill that's happening in Florida.
Okay, there's just a lot of hubbub about this.
Yes.
And I don't know what is going on. So you're going to have to update me on all of this.
So in Florida, they're trying to pass this bill that the media has started calling the Don't Say Gay bill. I don't really know why they're calling it that at all, because...
Is it about not saying gay?
I don't know. It's
What?
not. I don't. So that's why I don't understand why they're labeling it that.
Oh.
It's basically...
Disregard the name.
Yes.
But that's the name of the bill.
That's the propaganda that they're peddling, whatever it means, whatever. So, this bill, apparently it's something about parents want to be able to know things about their child. So if their child went to school and like had a conversation with their teacher about anything, the teacher is not really allowed to keep that information a secret from their parents. That's what this bill is trying to do. But I think for whatever reason, people see it as like an anti-gay bill. Like,
well, how are other people seeing it?
and then the other side is seeing it as like an anti-groomer bill. Of like, please stop grooming our children. It's our children to parent, not yours. And then the other side...
Oh, because people straight out of college... I don't want to say... Okay, fine. Straight out of college who don't want children themselves but want to teach your children.
For the betterment of society, but like...
In their minds.
Yes. But then the other side is like, sometimes parents probably, or guardians, whatever, don't want their children to be gay or whatever. So like, sometimes certain things need to be kept a secret between like the teacher who's very supportive of like a child coming out, let's say, or whatever, will be able to keep the secret from the parents, be like purposefully not tell them. But I think it's not specifically for stuff like, it's also like, the teacher just shouldn't be, like, I don't believe a teacher should keep the fact that, like, the kid might be depressed or having bad thoughts, let's say. From the parent. Or maybe, like, the teacher... I mean, what if the teacher is really, let's say, homophobic? You know, like, there's certain, like, it's just, period, a teacher shouldn't be allowed to keep secrets from the parents, because it feels very, like, weird. But that's not my opinion, it's just what the bill says. So that's a bill that is happening in Florida. I am not entirely sure why people in the entertainment sphere care about this bill that's happening in Florida. It doesn't affect me. It's none of my business as someone who is not a resident of Florida. I don't care. So I wasn't really paying attention to it at all, actually, because it's like, I don't care. I just don't care. But because it's located in Florida, Walt Disney World is in Florida.
Yeah, lots of entertainment stuff is over there.
Yeah. So
employees are probably going to get really mad.
Yeah. So as usual, a lot of theme park people who work at the Walt Disney World got really mad at Disney specifically because they wanted to know what Disney thought about this bill for some reason. Because
Disney always poses itself as an ally to these causes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They usually
they're like, what say you, Disney, about all of this?
Have some kind of statement. So the employees, I guess, really, or people in general, really wanted to know Disney's thoughts on this issue since you do business in Florida. And Disney internally, well, first of all, Disney, I think, made a public statement about, like, they don't care, or, like, they're not gonna do anything. They were just like, whatever, like, I don't know what you want us to say. So
they were just ignoring it, basically.
Kind of.
Okay.
And they weren't doing anything, which to people wanted them to do something, to be like all up in arms about this bill because they're an ally, right? So the Walt Disney World theme park employees, like cast members, people who would play like Cinderella,
Snow White.
Yeah, they got really mad. But what I didn't realize, the way this was reported, was like a lot more people that had nothing to do with this also got mad. Like, it kind of makes sense. These people work at Walt Disney World. They live and work in Florida. But then people in Hollywood and California were chiming in too. And they were also expressing their disappointment, frustration, anger at Disney for supporting, in their eyes, supporting Florida and not doing anything. So internally, after everyone was trying to like figure out their stance on this thing, they said something like, we are guardians of both blue states and red states. We don't really care about any of this stuff. We just are trying to, like...
And who's making this statement?
Bob Chapek.
Yeah. Oh. And like some sort of like, is this an address or?
Yeah, address to like the company.
Oh.
After the fact, after they did that, this sounds very middle of the road. Like, if you are not into politics or even the entertainment industry, you have no idea anything, to you, it sounds like, that seems like a very like diplomatic statement. Like, we're not trying to offend anyone. We just don't really care either way. We're just a company. You know, we make money. That's what we do. The fact that you want our opinion is like, I'm not going to shit on one side because everyone has money and we want all of it. That's what it sounds like. But we know this because these are our former coworkers, still your coworkers.
Oh
technically.
man, they probably madness.
Yes.
Super mad.
Because they see this very middle of the road not taking a stance
as support
for the other side.
Right.
Because what they want is, no, you only can be on our side, otherwise you're like on the other side.
Either with us or against us.
Yeah. And
oh man.
So they got mad and they started making a big fuss, and it caused Disney to kind of backtrack and apologize. And they like kind of bent the knee and was like, okay, you win. We need to be better allies, and going forward, we need to do better, basically.
But that's not really addressing anything.
Anything, yeah.
Oh.
Which caused Disney employees and a lot of people in entertainment, period, like non-Disney employees. Now this is like Californians and Disney Floridians getting really mad. They were like, that's not enough. I want you to stop donating money to like Florida politicians and causes and whatever, and donate to this organization that supposedly supports either black owned businesses or like black people or something like that. And as a response, Disney was basically like, we are sorry.
Oh no. Twice they're apologizing now.
Yes, twice.
Okay.
They said, we are sorry. You know what? Just like the anti-Asian hate thing, we are going to hold a struggle session, a virtual struggle session, where we are going to sit and invite people of the LGBTQ community to come educate us and tell us how much we are wrong and we need to be better. How about that? And after that, I don't know, really.
Whoa, like, so you don't know if that was satisfying?
Yeah, but it seems like it because no one's really talked about it. So that's what is happening. What you don't know is it's like the people who spoke up about this, the ones in California, the ones who work in Disney TV, Netflix, these companies, they're the same exact people who took a big fat shit on me when I was talking about a lot of these things. What the sentiment comes across as, you used me to support LGBTQ.
How dare you?
How dare you when you don't actually care about these causes?
But that's what we were saying.
That's what I've always been
That's what
saying.
we've always said. They don't give a
Always.
shit. They don't. They just want to make money.
Yes. And like, yeah. And then a lot of people will either tell me that I am naive to think that it was anything else, but they would also tell me you should be grateful. And then they would also be like, don't listen to her, she's lying about everything. Listen to me, I have more experience. Like, this is a nobody, which technically I am, but like they would like, listen, nobody, stop listening to her, she's lying. And I just was like, what changed in 2 years? That where you benefited so much 2 years ago to shit on someone like me, to you yourself are coming out and criticizing Disney for the exact same problems I was criticizing them for. Meanwhile, you were telling people that I'm lying, or I'm full of shit, or I'm privileged, or whatever. And I just, it's not that like I care really, because like we kind of didn't want to talk about this subject, but I was like, I can't just ignore pop culture news, when I want to talk about
just like,
it.
oh look, they're eating themselves.
Yes.
Look at them. Look at them. And it's just like, oh, it's not worth it anymore. We can't even make, like, it's just sad to make fun of the situation.
It's just kind of sad to make fun of our industry at this point.
Yeah, because it's like beating a dead horse, literally.
Like, how much more right can I be?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, you must think we're, like, really drinking, like the Kool-Aid of, like, oh, yeah, we're so right, which we are. But then, honestly, we're like, we still need to survive. And like all of this stuff is just like, to me, I feel just like, oh, well, this is what we said would happen.
Yeah,
they never cared. They just say they do.
So it's one of those things of like, I can see people who were just like me, who I know at the time didn't disagree with me, but in order to save their own skin and pocket books, I guess, checkbooks, they needed to shit on me and in a way also prop up studios like Disney and like put on a pedestal, because
that only happens sometimes, not all the time. We're great, which we are. We're great, by the way.
So like, I know because I experienced it firsthand how disingenuous these people are, who are basically doing and saying these things for money or fame, status, whatever. So I knew it, but no one else did, or the people who would believe me, but like, when I think the most difficult part is when people start to slander me and smear me by saying, oh, don't listen to her, she's just someone who thinks that she deserved to be a showrunner right away. Like, she's upset that she didn't get a promotion. And I was like, that's literally not the point of my video. And, like, they don't believe me when I say, like, I was promoted. I was offered promotions, like, a year before I left. And I
did we
rejected
have
them.
a fight or an argument, or I think just a difficult discussion where I'm like, I kept telling you, like, you know what, you shouldn't quit now. This is what you wanted. You wanted to be a storyboard artist. You can't just like leave.
Yeah, and now
I was
here.
like, I was upset.
Yes.
I was doing the thing, like everybody, all the audience people were just, so like by the time I saw the audience people do it, I was just like mentally like 50 steps ahead, because I was like, I had this argument with you. I was like, we tried so hard to get here. You can't just quit now after being a revisionist for like 3 years.
Only the people who were involved know that like I was offered a promotion like a year in advance with a director that I really loved working with, and I rejected him, not because I didn't want to do it. It was everything I wanted. But
unfortunately, you wanted to do this.
Yeah, I just was like, I need to turn down that really good opportunity so that I can pursue this thing that I've been dreaming of now. My dreams have changed, is basically what I told you. Because you haven't really, I wouldn't say mad at me, but like confused. Because you were going through a lot at the time too. it was when I would ask you, like, do you want to be an art director one day? And then you were like, yeah, obviously. And then I was like, but why? And then that but why question made you really mad. Because it...
Like, it had, like, cognitive dissonance or something. Like, oh, well, this is what you're supposed to do. It's what everybody does.
And you were having a hard time understanding, like, but you wanted this literally, like, all of your life, and now that it's finally on your lap, why are you saying no? And then I was like, I don't know, maybe I'm going crazy. I just, for whatever reason, it's on my lap and I don't want it. And because people were trying to make me out to be this person who just, for whatever reason, wanted an undeserved promotion. A lot of people just believed the people who were saying that. So they discounted everything else I was saying, which is literally this. I was literally trying to warn people that, like, these companies, they chew you up, they use you for every cent that you are worth. They do not actually care about the things you care about. They're perfectly willing to use these things you care about for money and notoriety at the time. But the minute things start swinging the other way, they will drop you in a heartbeat, and they treat you badly and all this stuff. And I just felt sad that for some people, they were able to get this message because they're more, I guess, independent thinking people. They're not just going to believe random rumors that other people tell them. Meanwhile, everyone else, which is most people, because most people are just headline readers or whatever, or they don't even, most people don't watch to the end of a video, especially like a 10-minute long video. People, like in the YouTube thing, it is a godsend if people even get through 50% of your video. Usually that means your video is going to like be recommended, go viral, whatever. People usually are watching a third of your video. So if the first third of your video is just calling me a spoiled brat, that's what people are going to think. And I just felt bad that, like, I knew all of this not just 2 years ago. At least 3 or 4 years ago, I knew that this is the case, that Disney does not care about your LGBTQ politics. I don't actually disagree with a lot of these wants and issues. It's that I don't think you are genuine. I don't think Disney is genuine. I don't think anyone actually cares. And they're manipulating you. And instead, I was made out to be the enemy for saying it, for being the messenger, I guess. But at this point, I just feel like, but you deserve each other. Because these people should know better than me. Like, if your argument is like, well, you're inexperienced, you're dumb, whatever, then it's like, well, yeah, then. I had 4 years in the industry, and I already knew this. Why did it take you 2022 to figure this out and finally get mad at them for using you?
You're in the industry longer than you have ever been in,
yeah,
too.
A lot of people have been.
And they're only figuring out now that they never cared about any of these things.
But the reason why I say, but like, I feel like you deserve each other, it's like, well, I knew that you didn't really believe what you were saying 2 years ago about me. Because I know, if, like, these are not new issues. These are not, like, I'm not some kind of genius that I figured out, like, oh, Disney's kind of a bad company 2 years ago. You know, like, people, there are a lot
of... This isn't new information.
This isn't new information for, like, especially people who work in it. We are the, like, most direct people that a shitty industry is going to affect. I'm not, like, it's pretty common to gripe about your work, you know? So I was like, you did the exact same thing Disney did, though. For your own profit and your own sake. You took a big shit on me and like, just said whatever people wanted to hear. So I know you're disingenuous. This is an industry full of disingenuous people. They're really great storytellers because of it. And now you're mad that Disney did that to you. Like, who do you think you learned it from?
Where do you think you get it from?
Yeah, where do you think you get it from? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So there's that. Meanwhile, we haven't talked about this because it's not really my business, or I just don't really care about this anymore because it's a news thing for an industry I'm not part of anymore. But currently, the animation industry craft is going through their contract negotiations. So last year it was other craft, like costuming and stuff in film. So they kind of got their contracts handled last year. No one ended the craft didn't end up striking, that kind of thing. Now animation is going through the same thing. So like literally, if I got this straight, like this is what I thought when I was reading the article. I was like, okay, you are more concerned, more willing to get on a soapbox to talk about an issue that is happening in Florida that doesn't have anything to do with you and your well-being and your concerns. But this other thing,
our wages,
your wages,
my wages, sorry,
your healthcare, your abuse at work, and maybe lessening the hours and the job titles and like the job description, all the things that you have to multitask and do, all those things, you're like ignoring that for the most part, because clearly this bill is far more important than the economy and
the gas prices,
and maybe getting a 10% plus raise, because that's how much you have to have
safety.
now.
Just for safety.
Just to be making the same amount of money comparatively to 2020.
Oh, all this energy, you know?
Yeah, going towards this thing, which I'm like, okay, go ahead. I don't care. It's not my industry anymore. I have been listening to The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma because I am trying to become Superwoman this year.
5 a.m. Club.
It has really given me a lot to think about how productivity and my existential thoughts collide. So, if you would also like to listen to this audiobook, head over to audibletrial.com/the Honey and Absinthe Podcast to get your free trial of Audible. And that's one free audiobook, and I highly recommend this one. That's audibletrial.com/the Honey and Absinthe Podcast. We have been negotiating for buying a home recently.
Janet's a shark.
Yeah.
Janet's a crazy person. You don't want to be on the other side of the table negotiating with this person. I've seen her go full Janet, and it's just ridiculous. You brought down the house like $25,000.
Yes.
Janet's insane. She
But
knows all the ways.
it was not enough for me or them, so they're gonna suffer. But like, yeah, you were like sweating.
I was sweating. I was like, babe, we should just like, let's just take it. Let's just take it.
Like, no.
And like, they're not gonna give us like even like $10,000 off this fucking house, dude.
No.
And then they gave us 25.
Yeah.
And then we went through a whole process, and we were like, how about more?
Yeah, how about more? And then they're like, no. And I'm like, that's fine. We're walking. So the process goes like this. You come to the negotiation table with a list of demands, and the other side,
roof, the deck, and the piping needs work.
The kitchen, whatever,
right.
Yeah, backyard.
You think you give us credit for this, and this?
And the other party's job is to get rid of the list of demands, and you both will have to have an argument of who is more right. So you can say, well, the bathroom is a hot mess and I deserve to get some money back for the bathroom because this is not what I'm paying for. Whereas the other person is going to be like, it's fine, deal with it. So
it's a potential third bathroom.
Yeah. But in terms of like jobs, it's the exact same thing. You come with a list of demands and you have to have a really strong reason why you deserve those things. And then the other side is going to be like,
no, you don't deserve
deserve those things.
You're fine the way you are.
Fine.
Come on. Should be grateful.
So let's say the list
You're in
of
Hollywood, baby.
the list of demands is like, we want less hours, we want less job description stuff. I'm multitasking too many things.
And what's that, like the storyboard people are also what is it, animatic people?
Yeah, they're also editors
Oh,
and
I
sound
see.
designers, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
everything. Character designers, and then I want to be paid more because inflation and my money is worth less than last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to keep my health care. That would be nice. And also, let's just throw in LGBTQ issues. And let's just throw in some race issues. Why not? Let's just ask for everything because we have like so much leverage now.
Do we?
I don't think so. So when you come with these lists of demands, the first thing the other side is going to do is try to pick things that they think you are the most interested in, and then knock off the not important stuff. So they're going to look at this and they're going to go, how do they care about LGBTQ issues more, or do they care about wages more? And then they're going to come back to you and go like, pick one. Because we can do one.
Like,
or
we
the
can,
other.
like we can fix the roof or we can fix the deck, but you know what we can't do? We can't fix both the deck and the roof.
Yeah. But usually they're not going to tell you to pick one. They're going to pick one for you because they're going to guess which one is more important to you. And I just was like, you know what? Going by the past decade of how people are, there's a really high chance they're going to pick LGBTQ issues over wages. And like the fact that that's even a possibility is something that I'm not sure has crossed the mind of negotiators and people in your industry.
We're doing a great job, team. Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep it coming. Fantastic work.
So for us, for me in particular, I was like, you know, I've been harping on this stuff for a really long time. It doesn't even really concern me anymore. I don't even really want to talk about this, but it is in entertainment news.
I even told you I don't really think I want to talk about this.
Yeah. But this kind of has a part to play in a larger point that I want to make. So let's put that aside for a second. So that's happening in Hollywood. Now, movie ticket prices are being increased now. But in a way that's similar to the way plane ticket charges are. So like when you go traveling, maybe you haven't in a while, but you can have the cheap economy seats, or you can have coach, you can have first class. But even in economy, you can have like an aisle seat, which costs a little bit more, or you can have like a middle seat, which no one wants to be in because it's hard to go to the bathroom and stuff. So it'll cost a little bit less. And if you want to sit next to your friend, then you have to pay more. And like, so that's the experience flying on a plane.
And they're all planning to do this to the seating arrangement for your favorite movie theater.
Yes. So if you want like prime middle row seats, you're gonna have to pay more. They're experimenting with doing this. You're gonna have to pay more.
Sounds awful, man.
If you're in like the sides, or like the what's it called? Nosebleed seats?
Those are like economy
whatever.
seats, basically.
Yeah, and maybe you can pay less. I think they already do this, but if you want to watch a movie at 7 p.m. peak hours versus like 7 a.m., you're going to have to pay more. If you want to watch Batman versus that new indie movie, you're going to have to pay more.
For Batman.
So Regal and AMC are experimenting with doing this, which to me is a really bad sign.
We experienced it firsthand. We were trying to watch Batman.
Yeah.
We were going to see it at AMC.
Mm-hmm.
Cost about $18.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, that's strange. What's it like over that Edwards in Alhambra?
Mm-hmm.
It was $15, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which was kind of normal to me. I was like, huh, let's just watch it there.
Yeah.
And I just don't see how like every person who goes and watches movies won't go through the same thought process as us. We're like,
Yeah.
why? That's way too expensive.
Yeah.
Just because it's just prime time, just because it's like 8 o'clock.
That's not fair.
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
I think it was Charts with Dan who said that this is going to hurt indie, smaller, non-blockbuster movies the most. Because obviously, you can charge top dollar for something like Batman. But I don't think you can charge like $20-something for a prime time indie movie, small indie movies, a foreign movie. So if families are going, especially during a time of inflation or stagflation, are going to have to pick between, do I watch Batman or do I want to watch this indie movie? I have no idea. People are going to choose Batman. And like people normally would already choose Batman.
Yeah, I was about to say they already choose Batman.
But like now you're adding an extra like monetary problem, because like what are they going to do? They're still not going to watch the indie movie. They're just going to save more money to watch Batman, and there's going to be less money for every other movie. Like you can only budget for however many movies to watch during inflation. I'm not getting paid anymore. I just lost my job, so they're going to budget for Batman, which means they're just not going to watch anything else. So I also think this is a problem of not enough butts in seats, so they're trying to raise prices any way they can.
You know what I heard?
What?
That Doritos are putting 5 less chips in their bags of chips now because of inflation. That's what I heard.
That's so sad. There's already not enough chips in
Yeah, it's mostly
bags.
air.
Yeah.
But at this point, you're just getting air.
Yeah.
Like $4 worth of air.
Make your
and
own
some
Doritos.
chips on the bottom.
know?
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah. So that's movie theaters, but also Netflix is testing adding a fee for account sharing, meaning they don't like the fact that you share your Netflix passwords.
Which we all do.
Yeah, at least like once. Come on.
Yeah.
You basically, they're going to like location lock, or I don't know how they're going to do it, but they will know somehow that you are not the person who is the person paying for the Netflix. You live in a different household maybe, and they're going to lock you out of being able to sign in unless you pay an extra fee.
Oh my lord.
Which is just so ridiculous. It's like, what? How do you get away? How is it that we reached this level in technology where this is possible? This feels like, how do you know? Like a little bit of an invasion of privacy, but also like, how do you get away with like that? How do you get away with charging people constantly? Like now, Netflix isn't affordable anymore.
What? Okay, so clearly we see a pattern here with all the streaming services and entertainment and even like movie tickets and stuff. What's going on? What do you think's going on? What's the larger issue? Is this just like, oh, inflation? It's like one of those things?
Yes, because they haven't made the money that they're used to making for at least 2 years now. So they're hurting monetarily, and there's no real sign that people are going to watch their content like they did pre-pandemic. We even saw it when we were conventioning. There was a huge dip in interest for a lot of not just Marvel and DC properties, just art and entertainment as a whole. That's one of the reasons why I left, actually. That I was sensing that this industry is not very healthy 2 years ago.
Is geek culture, comic book culture, Western cartoon culture, is it over? Is it out the window?
There's always going to be some of it, but I don't think it's going to be as big as mainstream people getting into Iron Man, who like never read.
And that's what it was like going to WonderCon. It used to just be like the diehards who would be willing to bring their entire comic book collection and trade comics and stuff. But now it's just like, oh, my cousin loves comics and I'm here and with my family and my daughter, she wants a drawing of Spider-Man. Can you make a drawing of Spider-Man for her? Just very like, you know, as the comic book people would call them, normies.
Yes.
But I just don't see at this point, with the world being the way it is, how expensive things are, gas and stuff, that like those normie types are ever going to come back to participate in stuff like a convention or a movie theater thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are just going to like chill out because things are getting really expensive.
Yeah. And to me, it just seems like...
And, like, this whole thing where, like, you get premium seats and stuff, like, that's gonna turn me off.
Yeah.
I would scour the earth for the one theater that doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Just to be able to skirt that. And if I couldn't do that, then I'll build a movie theater in my backyard or something at this point.
Especially because what movie theaters and Hollywood as a whole need to understand is that the going to the theater to watch a movie experience is dying. And the reason why I know this is because prior to dating you, I didn't go to the theater anymore. I would watch things at home in my laptop. And I know that hurts a lot of film files, like film enthusiasts' souls and directors' souls, but it is what it is. Like, that's what I grew up on. I actually never really had the money to go to like a 7 p.m. screening on like
Harry Potter or something.
Yeah, a Thursday or Friday night. Like, that's just not something that I was ever allowed to do, just like spend that much money. If I would watch movies, I would have my student discount and I would watch like 7 a.m. in the morning when
matinee.
No one wanted to watch. And that was rare. That was like, I begged my parents for the money to do it.
Please.
And they're like, why would you want to watch a movie? Such a waste of your time. You should be studying. So I actually did not understand what is the benefit of going to the theater. It's just a bigger screen, maybe better sound and everything. But like, I guess I'm not rich enough to afford and pay for that. Like, I'm going to watch it at home on DVD or something. But the first time you brought me to a screening like that, I understood why people who love the movies go to the movies. It's this communal feeling of experience something together. And it's fun to go to a horror movie and hear people genuinely be scared. Or to go to your favorite Marvel movie and to feel the excitement of everyone in the seats.
To laugh with people in the comedy. Yeah.
It's that I never experienced growing up. Until you shared that experience with me. And now, like, I'm one of those people who have to go... If for my favorite movies, I have to go to the theater. But I also know I was about to be any one of these normie type people that don't go to the theater. So when you increase movie ticket prices, especially for like good seats, at that point, like, you don't have money for a sitter. The fact that you have to schedule a babysitter. The fact that, like, you have to decide, do I watch Batman or do I watch Sing? Because when I have kids, do I take my kids? Do I be a parent? Or do I watch the thing I actually want to watch? Do I want to save money and sit on the side? Or am I going to pay top dollar for a lot of movies? People are just going to be like, you know what? I'm going to skip going to the movies altogether because it's just not worth it. Like, unless it's Spider-Man No Way Home, it's just not worth it. And it's like this is... in my opinion, it's going to cause more of that to happen. Which to me means your jobs, your future creative jobs, might not be there in the near future. Because what's going to happen when fewer people show up to the movies other than the ones they really, really want to watch?
They can't make as many movies because there's not as much demand.
Yes.
And then all these employees they do have to make this many movies, like pre-pandemic, they don't need them anymore.
Yes.
And then what's going to happen to those employees?
Just unemployment. Like I said, stagflation, unemployment, stagnant wages with high inflation, higher cost of living. Like, it's like the worst. It seems like a nightmare, and it's like it feels like it's never going to end. On top of all of this, remember when Chris Cuomo of CNN got fired and let go because he got Me Too'd?
Yes, I do remember that, yes.
Yes. Well, he is now coming back after being scapegoated and thrown under the bus to take the ship down with him.
Return of Chris Cuomo.
I take you down with the ship.
Yes. He's suing CNN for other things, but he's throwing in there the fact that CNN has unethical business practices in the workplace and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, again, with the Disney thing, it's not like we all didn't know this. It's the fact that, like, Chris Cuomo said, no, everything's great and fine while he was working in it, only to be like, have nothing left to lose and being like, you did me wrong, so I'm going to take you down with me. I'm going to share all your dirty laundry. And I'm like, okay, again, when I did it, there's a reason what happened to me at the time, because it was not popular to do that back then. Suddenly, even people like Chris Cuomo are criticizing and biting the hand that feeds. I think that's really telling of the age that we live in. And while all of this is happening in mainstream media, entertainment, all that stuff, I read a really, really interesting article about the digital space, YouTube, social media space. VTubing, if you don't know what it is basically when people want to stream on Twitch and be something like an e-girl, which is basically people who get on Twitch and stream themselves, talk to their audience, and, just interact with them. So the most common thing most people know Twitch for is for gaming. Some dude who's really good at a video game is going to sit there and interact with the audience while they're playing video games. It's very similar for an e-girl, except sometimes it's just, I'm literally just chatting with you, or I'm doing whatever, I'm giving you the girlfriend experience, or like the friend experience, maybe you're lonely, whatever. VTubing is that, but you, with augmented reality, whatever it's called, I forget what it's called.
They track your lips, and then when you blink, so you become like a Sword Art Online avatar of yourself.
So it's like an anime character that is superimposed on you. And it's like as if you were sitting there, but you're like an anime character. And these are particularly great for people who want to do the streaming thing, the e-girl thing, but they don't want to be on camera. And in particular, they might have a really good voice for this. So like, I would assume most voice actors would be great for this. So you have the benefit of like, maybe you're not the most like Scarlett Johansson looking person.
Maybe just shy. You just don't have that demeanor where you're able to,
or whatever.
But you do talk a lot.
Yeah, but you have a nice voice or whatever. You can like do this cool new thing where you can like be an anime character and do the weird like some Japanese ones are amazing because they sound like the waifu or husbando that you have in your mind, and they can literally talk to you. Like, they can, like, interact with, like, if you're like, say my name, they'll literally say your name if you pay them. Yeah. Which, to me, is crazy. This company called V Shoujo, they were able to raise $11 million to help support this growing industry. So, as entertainment and media is imploding on itself, VTubing is growing. And things like VTubing, YouTubers, and stuff like that is growing.
A new avenue for creators to create.
Mm-hmm.
And accessing a whole group of people who were way too shy to be in front of camera to be a part of this without actually being on camera.
Right, yeah. So this is similar to like any actor or an entertainer who wants to like do things in traditional media, or even artists have, like, you can technically design your own avatar if you had the skills and make it, track it and everything.
Man.
Which a girl does. She's she has made something that looks like Diva from Overwatch.
Dang.
And put it on herself.
I was about to say, like, I don't see why people in animation just don't quit, make their own animated avatar of themselves and just bro down and do like just like a streaming thing.
Yeah.
They can stream themselves paint. It could be anything. But then they just like, they don't even have to like be there. They could be in their pajamas.
Yeah. She kind of is most of the time, because like you don't see her. You see this like avatar 3D model of her.
Right. Whoa, the future, man.
And she's so amazing to me because she programmed it and did the 3D model herself.
Jeez.
And then she like it's one of the most intense, advanced looking VTuber type things that I've ever seen. I was like, the fact that you can do that now is like insane. So
would you ever VTube stream yourself, or you would just use your own face? Probably easier to just use your own
it'd
face.
be cool.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of cool if someone could make like a cute
3D
anime version
model of
me. Yeah.
yourself.
And then make a video where I'm like, this is so strange. I'm gonna make my cartoon self do funny things. Yeah, I think it's amusing. So I was thinking about all these articles, and I eventually came to like this overarching kind of existential but really helpful way of looking at all of this. And now that I am like a little bit removed from everything, like this stuff doesn't make me angry anymore like it used to. I'm just very like over it. But I was thinking about how this entire industry was built on a giant house of cards. That we didn't know that at the time. We thought, like most people thought, that a company like Disney or Marvel could never fall. That this industry is so big. How could our teachers would say things like, you need to be more, what's the word? Versatile.
Yeah, and we would do the whole okay boomer thing.
Yeah.
Like, in our heads, like, how could it possibly
Yeah.
disappear?
But what I saw 2 years ago was that these corporations are using us, and for money. They don't really care about these things. They don't even really, like, for me, the most offensive thing as an artist to me at the time was they don't care about animation. They don't care about making good animation, so why am I here? Why am I giving my time, my life, my talent, if I can say anything, the one talent I am semi-good at, for a company that does not even care about making a good product out of my talent. So I felt very angry at that. So I kind of understand the anger towards Disney now when people are like, I thought you cared about these issues, but you're just using me and my emotions. So I understand that. But like, my anger was there 2 years ago. And it wasn't even that angry. In my opinion, I was trying to warn other younger people about these things who were just as naive as I was after I graduated art school. I was trying to warn them, like, hey, maybe you should know this. I know it doesn't have anything to do with me anymore because I quit, but like, I imagined young Janet, who was right about to graduate art school, and I imagined if someone like me, who knew all the things that I knew, just kept her mouth shut, I'd be really upset. I'd be like, why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you tell me what I was getting myself into? Because I thought it was like, I don't know what I thought. I thought it was like,
we're gonna be really creative today,
yeah,
everybody.
we're gonna be really creative. We're gonna work hard. Like, our goal is to like make the next Toy Story. This, like, we're super passionate, and I'm gonna learn from you. You're gonna learn from me, and maybe we have this competitive thing going on. But like, I was down for all of that. Sadly, it is not any of that at all. So I thought, like, maybe some people would be appreciative to hear this. So I wasn't even that angry. Like, I had already, like, that had subsided. But I can understand why other people feel that way. But now I definitely have a different perspective of, like, I think it's foolish for anyone to believe that any of us have that kind of control or power to change anything. Just because you speak up about this stuff. These are big corporations with what I would like to call the Illuminati in charge of them. Much more powerful people and things are working behind the scenes, and you have absolutely no control over it. And to think that you do, I think, is naive. Or at the very least, a little bit too hopeful.
If I were part of this Illuminati thing, I would make all of these people, like, causing a hubbub to, like, have some sort of illusion of power.
Yes.
Just so that, like, you know,
Be happy.
they'll be happy and they won't bother me.
Yes. So that, I guess, I have come to accept that my Disney video didn't benefit anyone other, like, directly other than me. Like, I think I got some amount of gain from it. You can look at it both ways. Like, it was unfortunate that I got canceled, but people know about me now because of this video. So it really did help the beginnings of my YouTube channel. I get monetized, all that stuff. Not on purpose, but it helped me. Literally,
it's not part of the plan.
No, yeah. I do not believe for a second, because I will not allow my ego to believe this. I don't believe it helped anyone. Like, I don't believe anybody actually cares, because you all still own Netflix, you all still own Disney Plus, you all still want to work in this industry no matter what I say. So it's not like anyone listened to me, and I don't know if anyone can truly understand what it feels like until you go through it yourself, to work in the industry and to, like, get hazed or to stop being so green in the workplace and stuff like that, until you actually experience it for yourself. So I just feel like, well, I kind of wasted my breath there a little bit, but at least it helped me out. And I don't think...
Hey, you're more at peace now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You have no regrets.
No, yeah. I definitely feel like our teachers were right. And I think they knew all of this could happen because they themselves saw an industry implode on itself, which is like the fashion illustration industry. And I think, I don't know, there's no way they could have predicted this, obviously, but there's no way we could have prepared for this either. Like, I don't know what that means other than to look out for it. Like, I don't which, hey, I was kind of able to do. But at the end of the day, when you know all this, it feels a little bit doomery. It feels like, wait,
the doomer.
Yeah, if we don't have control over anything, and if the industry and entertainment will do what they will, and people don't even...
So we're just kind of powerless, I think, is what people feel, yeah.
Yeah, we're just kind of powerless. What can we do? Like, we have to at least try, is probably some people's response. Like, we need to try to speak up, try to say something, try to do something. I'm like, no, I don't think they care about you. They don't... to have the ego to think that you small human, who is like a nobody, could change anything, is like, there's so much ego and narcissism in that. And I will fully admit that there's so much learning I had to do to think that, like, me saying anything could have changed anything. Like, it just won't. It is what it is. I think that the most helpful thing to get out of this is you need to focus on your own problems, your own business, and your own self. Because that has brought me more happiness than anything else. Like, again, when I say...
Not a really sexy answer for the people, you know?
Yeah,
but it's true.
It's true, yeah. Like, what is it my business? Whatever is happening in Florida. Not my goddamn business unless I am planning to move to Florida. And, like, oh, you gotta be... Let's just assume people will think, like, this is gonna hurt, the LGBTQ community in Florida. So people would say something like, oh, but you have to be empathetic about the LGBT community in Florida. And I'm like, sure. But who am I? Like, I don't live there. I don't know if that's what they actually want. You know? Like, I don't...
We are Californians. Florida's on the other side of the country.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
What it's like over there. I've never even been there.
Yeah. Sounds like the worst. It sounds humid and like snakes everywhere and giant cockroaches or something. I don't know. But like, I don't...
Swamp butt for probably most of the year.
Yes.
Probably.
Like, I don't know what it's like. That would be like me saying, like, no air conditioner in Florida for like most of the year, because why do you need it? You need to save electricity. But then everyone with swamp butt is like,
I can't do this. I can't live like this.
Yeah, I won't live like this. It's all like similar, and I just feel like, who am I to say anything? You gotta fight for yourself. I'm sorry. Like, if truly this is going to ruin your life, like, there's nothing I in California can do to help you. Like, this is weird to assume that I can. So
you feel like people are yelling, do something, but you're like, I can't.
Yeah, like
because I'm all the way here on the other
you
side.
do something. It's your problem. And I just feel like if you focus on yourself, you would probably get the things that actually affected you done. So like I said, your wages. Or, you know, like you're focusing on things that don't concern you. But maybe you should focus on things that concern you. Like maybe be more self-reliant. Maybe your wages, you're going to get paid less soon. And maybe you got to do something about it. I don't know what you got to do, but you got to do something about it. And that's where I think about the VTubing stuff and the people who got into YouTube early or TikTok early or whatever and made a following, a little island for themselves. We hear all the time that people like The Quartering or Tim Pool or just anyone who has a job doing stuff on the internet, they'll always say, I feel really fortunate and grateful during this time of inflation that I'm kind of protected from it because no one can take away my job. Like, and my job isn't reliant on anything like supply chain stuff. Like I can, if I have a camera and I have internet, I can literally keep producing my product at home for a very low cost because it's me. I sit in front of the camera, I turn on the camera, I perform, I put it up. Like I don't have, if I had to fire everyone today, I could. That kind of attitude.
And I'd still have something because I have a camera.
Yeah. Right. So all those people who decided to choose the unstable life at the time compared to everyone else, because it's a risky life to choose compared to, you know, being like, I got hired at Disney, whatever. They have built something where their self-reliance and their independence really won in this era, in this day and age. And I don't think it's too late for a lot of people. I just feel like it's what benefited me in the past half a year. That I'm like, you know what? I like news, politics is a bunch of bullshit. Everyone's lying to me. I don't care at the end of the day because none of it affects me. But you know what does is what's in front of me right here and now, and that I can see with my own two eyes, and things that I can do. I can exercise, I can make my own comic, I can make my own art, my own online store, I can sell my own things, and I can mind my own goddamn business.
You could play video games in front of a camera.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to.
At least you can do that.
Yeah.
So that's my point. Like, mind your own business. And this is literally straight out of Kiyosaki's book. Literally, mind your own business. Not the phrase. Your own art business. Your own...
Don't concern yourself with your neighbor's business.
Yeah.
That's their business.
It's their business. How are you... Like, your business is probably not thriving. Or if it is, like, congratulations. Make it continue to thrive. So, that's my worldview. Well, I saw all this news and I was like, this is so stupid. A bunch of drama. Everyone is just eating their popcorn. Other than the inflation news, that's scary. That's like, doesn't look so good. I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing.
I don't feel very confident in in my end of things. But today, what are we recommending, Jan?
We are recommending Suburban Homestead.
Who is Mr. Suburban Homestead?
He is an artist that makes the most amazing gardening videos. He makes almost like Netflix quality documentary style videos about homesteading and being self-reliant, being at home and gardening, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be really cheap, and he teaches you how to do it. But that's not what's amazing about his channel. He is like so creative. Like, he'll just randomly be like, I know this is like a homestead channel, but if you want to support me, you can buy my art, and then you have like stop motion short films on DVD that you can buy in his store. You can buy his oil paintings. Like, it's not really like a Patreon. He does have a Patreon, but you can also support him by just randomly buying one of his stuff. And I just think, like, man, you do music, you do stop motion, animation, you paint, but also you make these, you're an amazing homesteader person, and these videos are crazy. They're like, you're like a video producer, basically. And I find, like, there are some creative geniuses out there. And I feel
Do so
inadequate.
much.
Yeah.
It's when you showed me like, oh, he sells his stop motion thing, and I was looking through some. I was what? This is all him?
He was voice acting it.
Yeah,
too.
he was voice acting it too. I was like, Jesus, this is insane.
I was like, wow, you're so talented. So check him out. Support him if you like gardening. Like, subscribe, check out these other episodes here to binge all our other episodes, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.